Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Sparks Toyota, and I'm checking out a 2020 Toyota 4Runner four-wheel drive in the limited trim level. This 4Runner is sitting on 245/60 Yokohama tires, wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Midnight Black Metallic. And the sun's shining today, so hopefully you can get an idea of what it looks like. There is a little bit of dust and stuff on it because this vehicle just came off the truck, so it hadn't even been washed or anything like that. Just wanted to get it online as soon as possible to show it off to you guys. But if you look at the, I don't know if you can see this, but it has a slight green sparkle to the metal flake there. There's a couple different colors there, but the one that pops out in the most is like a little bit of a green, which is pretty neat. So looking here in the front, you can see since it's a limited, it has a little bit different front end with this prominent chrome portion here in the front, as well as here on the grille. And it's pretty much all gloss black other than that. It does have the parking sensors across the front. And you see this black, gloss black bar right here. This is your radar adaptive cruise control sensor. Now the headlights, they're powered by halogen bulbs in a reflector and projector combination. So the reflector is your high beams and the projector here is your low beams. And they have black bezels. Now you notice that the lens kind of pops out there on the side. If you look at it from certain angles, it really looks like it's protruding a lot, which is kind of interesting. Looking at the profile, almost completely gloss black, except for this trim right here at the bottom, this chrome handles, and then you have an underscore here of the glass, all chrome. And then you have a silver luggage rack here at the top, which is kind of, I guess, blends in with the chrome. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system designed to where you could just keep this in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. You don't have to take it out of your pocket. So it does have some buttons, lock and unlock, panic button, and it does have a physical key that can slide out in case you need that. Let's go ahead and push that panic button. So it has a very strong horn. And so basically, as long as you have this key with you, it can be in your pocket, in a bag, as long as it's within a close proximity of the outside of this door, you can lock the door by placing your finger over the sensor indicated by these little two lines. It'll lock the door. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle. It senses your key within a certain proximity of the door, just a few feet actually, and you can unlock the door and access the vehicle. It also has a physical key location here on the driver's side only. Looking at the inside of the passenger door, mostly black here. It does have a little bit of accent stitching. And it's brown. It looks like a brown to me, which happens to match the interior. And you have your controls in this high position, which is nice, and then chrome handle. Now it has this neat little shelf right here. Now this opens up. This handle opens up to where you can put things in there that's longer. It's just a really nice, handy forward position pocket for just quick access stuff. Soft touch surfaces are here, all the way down here. Then you have your hard touch surfaces here, in here. But this is also soft touch where your legs go. Then you have a larger pocket for bottles and other stuff down here. Power seat here on the passenger side, and it goes forward and back but not up and down. Then you can adjust your back. So here's your seats, and they are like a really nice looking chocolate brown. You can see the stitching there is a little bit off on the color, so I guess you can call that contrast stitching. It's in a French design here on the edges. Then you have heated and ventilated seats here. You see the little perforations in the center portion. plenty of legroom here in the front and the back actually. So the floor mats are not in place yet, but you can see where they snap in place, or they hook in place to keep them from sliding around on you. Plenty of legroom, like almost just like no tapering here on the sides. Glove compartment's locking. You push this button to open it up, and it is really good size. It has a flat bottom so you can stack up books or whatever. Little access port there on the very back to get to your cabin filter, so that's easy, and so you don't have to go under the hood. Then you have some simulated wood grain, looking pretty nice. Now the dash is a non-reflective hard touch surface. It does have a handle here on the passenger side. So you can see the rear door is smaller and it has a smaller opening, just to give you an idea, but it's still pretty big. I mean, for a back door, it's still plenty big enough. And here's the inside of the back door, basically the same styling as the front. Very similar styling, just different shape to the door. You can see both of the back seats have a net pocket on the back, and also it has this hard plastic protecting the back of the seat, so your kids can kick the seat all they want and it's not going to damage the leather surface there. So this back seat is basically one big bench seat. It's very comfortable, by the way. Part of the reason why it's so comfortable is look how high it is off the floor. It kind of has that chair feel to it. You have cup holders and armrest, which you can move out of the way. A little tiny hump there in the center portion, but not bad at all. And then you have 2 charge ports, USB charge ports, and your climate control vents there. The headrests also fold down, so you can see the other ones folded down. But you can fold these down when you move the seats down, but also just in general to increase your visibility when you don't have anybody back here. And I'll show you what they look like folded down when we get to the cargo area. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a little shark fin antenna, body colored at the very top, right there, and then you have this rear spoiler, basically, is what I call it, here in the back. And it's pretty neat because if you look right in here is the third brake light, but under here, maybe not be able to tell, but there's a wiper under there. So it has a completely hidden wiper. So it cleans up the back of the vehicle quite nicely. Also, this is a power window, power glass window you can roll down. It's really nice. That also makes sense why they put the wiper up there to get it out of the way. The backup camera slightly offsets right in here. So it'd be nicer if it was in the center, but whatever. There's your towing package. And there's your exhaust, so it's not too prominent of exhaust, doesn't stick out too gaudy or anything like that. You have the parking sensors across the back as well. And the taillights are a combination of LED and standard bulbs. Go ahead and roll the window down so you can check it out. Isn't that cool? So that way you can access stuff, just have some airflow or whatever. And roll it back up. Nice and smooth. And I like the way it goes all the way down too. Okay, so let's lift this up, push this button, it releases it, and just kind of lift it up to a certain point. It goes up the rest of the way by itself. You have some handles up there, but you also have these straps and some speakers, which is pretty cool. And 2 lights, which is fantastic. Having 2 lights above over your shoulder while you're trying to find stuff in the dark is just really nice. And check out the cargo area. Man, that's wide open. You can have this nice plastic ramp, so when you're putting stuff in here, you're not damaging the gloss paint or anything like that. So when you're sliding your luggage or whatever back here, I think that's pretty cool. So you have a 12-volt power supply as well as a power inverter, 400 watt, 120 volts, and it's a 3-prong, just like you'd find in your house. Subwoofer here on the right side, powered by JBLs, and there's a little storage pocket there on the top. You have another one over here. Gonna throw some stuff in there. It's pretty cool. And you have tie downs on all 4 corners, here and here. You can also put a shade back here, and you can see there the place for it on the side. But also a little compartment here on the left side. Let's go ahead and open that up. This is where you'll find your jack and tools for your spare tire, which is underneath the vehicle, and I'm sure you saw that in the first few seconds of this video. You have some hooks to hang some clothes on both sides, there and there. Okay, so this row of seats here, you can fold down. So these 2 seats are connected together right here with this latch. So if you want to separate the center portion and fold it down separately, you can do that by unlatching it here and folding it down. Or you can fold down this whole section, leave this up, or vice versa, so that way you can add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. Or you can fold them both down and have a huge wide open cargo area back here. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it has a regular cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, you just push the brake and push this button to start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see it. The floor mat will snap in place here as well. It's secured. There's your accelerator, brake pedal, a foot actuated parking brake there, and a footrest behind it. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch right here in the very center. You can actually see it a little bit there. Move it to the left, and you can lift up the hood. Now, there's an insulated portion on the underside of the hood, as well as a complete seal. So you have the seal across the top there, in the back, and here on the sides. And it has a big plastic cover covering up the engine, but we know there's the engine under there because we can see around it. This one doesn't do a great job of covering it up. Typically, manufacturers, it seems like they just want to hide the engine for some reason, but we can actually see it a little bit here. So it has insulation there on the firewall. And the battery is easy to get to, right here in the front. It's not hidden underneath the seat or something like that. This vehicle is powered by a 4-liter V6 with 270 horsepower, 278 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, it has a full-time 4-wheel drive system with active track and the ability to lock the center differential for the serious off-road situations. Now, it has a sport enhancement suspension, and it basically can adjust the suspension stiffness depending on the situation. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have your power windows here. They're all automatic, one touch up and down. So we can touch it like so, and look how fast it is. And I like the way the controls are up here high on the door, so you can access them and see them easy. Now, your door lock controls are here, but you also have 2 presets for your power seat for the driver. So the driver seat typically one-ups the passenger with some kind of feature. In this case, it's going up and down and tilting. So the passenger, you remember, you can go forward and back, and that's it here. This you can tilt and also go up and down. This is your 2-way lumbar adjustment as well. So there's another, instead of a 1-up, it's a 2-up. And remember, these are heated and ventilated seats. To the left of the steering column, you have some buttons here. This is where you can adjust your side mirrors. You just pick a side and adjust it with this little pad right here. Interior dimmer switch for your interior gauges is here. Automatic high beams, you can turn that on or off here. Now, the windshield wipers have a heater, and you can turn that on or off. So this will release them if they're frozen, that kind of thing. And then this is for your power inverter. You can turn it on or off here. It also has a tilt and a telescoping steering column. It's not a huge amount of articulation, but it does have it. And then there's the lever to lock it in place. So let me just get in here for a second, just so you can see how much room is in here. So I got the seat. Let's go ahead and put this all the way back. Okay, it's all the way back. Let me tilt it back a little bit, so that way it's comfortable. So it's like a chair in that the seat's quite a bit off the floor. So when I put my feet like this, and my knees stick up a little bit, but in general, it just feels like you're sitting in a chair. And I have pretty good amount of space here. I'm not cramped up on my legs. My legs able to go over the center console there. And when it does touch the door, it's on this soft touch surface here. And I have the armrest, and my hand can pass through, that kind of deal. And I can see and reach the controls there for the windows. Have access to stuff over here as well. And I have a handle here and here. So with the seat all the way back, let's see how I fit in the back seat. Getting in, even though the door's smaller, it's not so bad. It's got plenty of headroom here and just a slight duck. The seat's quite a ways off the ground, so it'd be nice if they had a handle here. It does have a handle right in here though. Okay, so I have plenty of knee room here, and you can see it's dished out to accommodate that a little bit better. And my feet can fit underneath the seat quite well. Have a little tiny bit of a hump there in the center, but no big deal. I can feel the air conditioning coming out of the vents here. And I have a light. There's a little clip right here for hanging stuff as well. You can see it right there. And with the front door, it has that pass through, basically the same type of deal. So let's get in the center passenger seat. So even as an adult, sitting in the center passenger seat is not bad. The hump in the center does get in the way for sure, but I do have some nice air conditioning here in the center, and it's a little bit higher position because the seat doesn't dish down. So like on the sides, it has these bolsters and it has a slightly lower position, kind of simulating a bucket seat. Oh yeah, I know what it is. This seat can go down, so I have this seat all the way down and back. Since this one can't go down, it doesn't go back as far back as this one. So this one's a little bit further back, as far back as it can go, and I have a little bit less leg room, but nothing too bad. It's armrest and cup holders. It's like low armrest for me, but as far as the cup holders, it's nice. And it has these little plastic things, like rubbery things that pop out. You can clean them and put them back in. It's pretty neat. And getting out can kind of squeeze out here for me, but it's not so bad. I like the way you drop out of the seat onto the ground. That's a nice, instead of trying to lift yourself out, that's pretty cool. Sitting in the driver's seat now, checking it out, and of course I have more articulation than the passenger, and I have the seat all the way back, all the way down, and just to give you an idea of the legroom here, fantastic. I have plenty of legroom in the front and knee room and all that stuff. So looking at the steering wheel, it's a leather wrap steering wheel. And just want to mention before I get into the steering wheel, it does have the heated and ventilated seats. The ventilated portion, I got it on full blast, but it's not like a huge difference like some vehicle. You can barely tell it's even on. But anyways, okay, so steering wheel has these really small micro perforations on the edge, and then regular, I think this is synthetic leather. It's hard to tell though. Here on the top it has that leather, and it's kind of thin here at the top, and it's nice and thick here on the side. So I wish they would have maintained that thickness all the way here at the top as well. So you have your volume for your radio, change through your tracks or radio stations here. Voice recognition. Mode, this is where you can change your audio source on the radio. Bluetooth controls are here, so you can answer and hang up phone calls once your phone is paired. Here on the right side, now they kept this as kind of a holdover for previous models, is the cruise control is kind of hidden back here. So you turn it on, pull it down to set it, up to resume it, and pull it in to cancel. And then they added this right here. So this is your adaptive cruise control and lane departure system. So you can adjust the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using that button, and then this is, you can turn the lane departure on or off there. So these buttons right here correspond with the screen between the gauges. We'll get to that in just a minute. So over here you have your windshield wiper controls for your front and rear. And on the left side is your turn signal, but also has your headlight controls. So you have daytime running light off, automatic, parking, and headlights. And there's your fog light controls. Okay, so I have the dimmer switch down because there's some flickering going on with the camera here. There's no flickering in real life. It looks fine in real life, but the camera picks up a flicker because apparently this is powered by LEDs, the backlighting. Okay, so here's your the gauges. So the simplicity I like is the black background, white lettering popping through, your RPMs, your speedometer, and then you have your fuel gauge and your engine coolant temperature there at the top, and then a little screen there at the back. Here in the center portion, which shows some more information, and you can have so like say a blank screen, sway warning, digital speedometer, which is essential, eco indicator as you're driving, and lets you know how you're doing as far as fuel economy, how far you can drive before you need to get gas, that kind of thing. When you're doing some four-wheel drive maneuvers and stuff, you have the steering angle that you can visualize here as well and see which way the steering is aiming, I think is pretty cool. And then your tire pressure will show up there when you're driving. Digital compass, whatever your radio is doing. You can go in here and turn your adaptive cruise control and your lane departure on or off. Right now it's turned off. Stored messages will show up here, and then you have all your settings, your safety settings, and all your preferences here. And it goes back to your main screen. So these are different tabs here at the top, and then you have the information below. I think the digital speedometer will be my default right there. All right, so moving on over here, we already saw the start button. We do have a digital clock up here that's easy to, let me turn the brightness down. Okay, so we have a digital clock up here. It's easy to set because it has separate buttons. You don't have to go into the main screen in order to access it. Four-way flashers are here. And then you have your touch screen here. I'm gonna turn the brightness up. So the touch screen, basically this is your home button. You have physical buttons here on the outside, and then you have the touch screen here. So the home button basically has a split screen between different features. One of those is your navigation. We can go ahead and check that out right now. And it does have the ability to pinch zoom. And that's your navigation map, your phone, and your audio will show up here. So looking at the audio screen, so you can choose a selection here of your different audio sources. Then you have your presets here at the bottom, and then whatever's playing right here. You can change your source always by pushing that. You're going to go into another different source. USB, Bluetooth, satellite radio, FM, and AM, or right now, or your what's showing. This is grayed out because there's nothing showing. There's nothing plugged into the USB port. You can adjust your sound as well. So you can put in a destination. We saw the map before, but now we can search, or we can go to recent, favorites, all that right there. So we can put in a destination there on a separate menu. Projection. This is where you can use the Apple CarPlay. Once you plug into the system, it'll pop up here. Information takes you to vehicle information. So like a drive computer here. Traffic incidents, weather, voice alert, vehicle alert history, sorry. So it can let you know what happened. So pre-collision system, what happened, any kind of events will show up right here. So that's pretty cool. So you have a physical volume knob and tune through the stations as well. There's your temperature for your driver and passenger. So your climate control is this area right here. So it's a nice big knob for the driver and passenger temperature. And there's a little screen that's kind of hard to make out right here, but it shows your temperature for your driver and your passenger, and as well as where your air is blowing, and you can make those adjustments here on these buttons. Now when you put on the rear defrost, it also turns on your heated side mirrors as well. So your USB port is here, so that if you want to use the Apple CarPlay system, you can do that. And then your heated and ventilated seats, you push these to pop them out, and then you can go hot on the right or cold on the left. And it's a 3-stage. And there's a 12-volt power supply, little storage compartment right in here, smooth plastic on the inside. And then you have a cup holder here, which this has that rubbery piece that comes out so you can clean it and put it back in. So your 4-wheel drive control is basically just a knob, so you can change from high to low by turning this. You will need to push the button to unlock it, so you can turn that and it'll automatically do it for you. It's a little storage pocket, a little place to put pins or whatever right there. So here's your shifter. Kind of sticks up and easy to get to, but it's a little bit in the way sometimes. It does have that matching wood grain that you found over there, and it has a path to travel for the shifter to go. So there's reverse. Now 2 things will happen when you put it in reverse. One, the backup camera will show up here, right here, and it has the guidelines that are not active, but also your parking sensors will be activated as well. So that way it'll just kind of beep at you if you get close to something. There's neutral, drive, and then you can limit your high gear by going over here, and then you go up and down, and so that way if you need to downshift, you can do that. This is your rear glass. We already saw how that works, but this is the control here. And there's a cup holder that comes out. It's so cool the way these like slide right out. Some of them are really hard to get out. I like the way that is. And then there's a compartment here. You can prop a phone or whatever you want in here. And then it extends into this area, so you can utilize the space for more than just cups, I guess. Maybe even put a little tablet there, I'm not sure, or mail or whatever. It's pretty neat the way just kind of utilize that extra space in the cup holder if you don't have a cup there. Okay, so here's your the armrest. So it's soft to the touch. It's really soft, and I think it might be big enough to share with the passenger, but that's up to you. This lifts up and it doesn't slam back down. It actually kind of slight springiness to lifting it up, so that way it doesn't slam around down on you. There's a little place to put tissue boxes or whatever under there, pin or a tire gauge. And then you have the storage space under there. Has a little divider and a 12-volt power supply, a place to put some quarters there. Also, you'll notice there's a tiny little spot for wires to go in and out of the compartment there without pinching them. So the rear view mirror has it's auto dimming. It's an auto dim rear view mirror, and there's a light sensor right back here. And you can turn that feature on or off with that button. You have a place to put some shades right up in there, or sunglasses, reading glasses, safety glasses, whatever you want. And it has a very non-soft surface on the inside, but I guess it's non-marring, but it's not soft at all. And you have some tap lights up here. Interior lights you can turn on with the door by pushing that. Garage door opener controls here as well, home link. This is for your sunroof. We'll get to that in just a minute. You also have your active track. Your if you need to spin tires, like if you're stuck or something like that, you can turn off the traction control. And then you have this is basically the downhill descent, DAC. So that when you push that, it's like a off-road cruise control for going downhill. It's kind of interesting, keep you from slipping and going too fast, but you can go down the hill. I don't have any experience with that, but that's basically the whole idea behind it, from what I understand. So the visors, they have lights and mirrors, and it's like a cloth material on the outside, and they have an extension instead of sliding. Okay, so the sunroof. So the sunroof has a shade that blocks 100% of the light. You can open that up, let some light in. Tilt it up, tilt it down, move it back. And it has a separate control for the tilt and the moving back, so that's nice. Makes it a little bit easier to use. If you push it one time, it goes back there. Let's see if it goes further. Yeah, it'll go back a little bit further. Okay, so taking a look at the visibility in the back, I think it's quite well. It's quite good. I mean, you have lots of glass back there. It's wide open. Now, of course, your passengers can impede you, but even with the headrest up, you can still see there's lots of windows to look out of, so that really helps out. And they're nice and tall. Of course, you have the backup camera, the parking sensors, and all that stuff to help you out as well. Okay, there you have it, 2020 Toyota 4Runner. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Sparks Toyota here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.